Good morning.
So I'd like to welcome y'all to Through the Eyes of Survivors, our Love Fest Valentine's Marathon. We thank you for joining us for another episode. And we just welcome you. We just came off a really great segment with Midori talking about celebrities in DV. This next segment is Support Line. We have, if you are not aware of, a support line here at BTSADV. And it's not a crisis line, but it is a support line. And one of our heads of our support line, Audria Maltsberger, is with us, and she's actually our chairwoman of the board of directors. So we're going to talk about this next hour, not just support line, but the warning signs and how you can see warning signs of domestic violence before it's too late, and how you can seek the help that you need. So let's imagine you're being trapped in an abusive relationship, and you're scared, and you're isolated, and with nowhere to turn. For thousands of survivors, BTS ADV Support Line has been their first step towards seeking help and resources and safety. And unlike traditional hotlines, our support line connects survivors with real people who actually understand, and that is other survivors. So we provide compassion and resources and a way forward, but we need your help to keep this critical service running. So here's how you can help right now. Uh, you can donate. So there is a link down below for this special broadcast to donate through, to our Valentine's podcast. Um, or you can donate through our website at BTSADV. Uh, yeah. I'm losing my place. Sorry, y'all. Slash donate. Look up our website, and any donation could help. We're looking to raise $10,000 in funds. Donate $25 to help keep our support line up and running. Maybe $50 to help train an advocate who is on our support line, to get the resources that people need, or $100 for to help keep our support line running, through our survivor-led services even. So together we can ensure that no one suffers in silence that way. So I thank you, Audrey, for being here with us. Um, so support line. Why don't you just give everybody a little background about your background as a survivor, and how it came about that you came to our support line and started volunteering there.
So I've been with Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence for 6 years now, and back then I was ready to help. I was ready to share, you know, just share the opportunity, partner with an organization that was actually doing good in the world. And I was scrolling on Facebook, and I came across Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence. I came across their Facebook page, and I immediately just got online and filled out the application, and it was so quick. I just said yes. I had no idea. I interviewed really quickly, and they quickly led me to Support Line. It wasn't even like, oh, maybe you should do this or that. It was like, you're going to Support Line. And I was so thrilled. I will say that I had lost my voice, being a survivor and having been in a relationship over 12 and a half years, I had lost my voice. And so being the person that actually answered the phone and helped survivors, I will say it was just such an honor. I was so scared, but at the same time, every phone call that I've taken has helped me find my voice. And I feel like it takes a special, I love Support Line. It takes a special person to be willing to kind of get down into those dark places with someone that's calling that needs help. Um, I get emotional just thinking about it.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay. We have great volunteers and great board members. We're all very passionate about the work we've been doing here for 13 years now. So, um, yeah, Support Line has been really one of the better programs that we've been doing um, for all these years. So,
I
yeah,
100% agree. Um, just taking the time out of your day to just be a light for someone is just such an honor.
no, absolutely.
Someone that is, yeah, reaching out for help. And it's not that every single person that calls is ready for the resources. I think it's incredible that we are a support line because that's really what we're doing. We're really taking time out of our day just to sit and talk with someone to remind them that first, that they're not alone, that it's not their fault. We have to ensure that they're safe. And then we just listen and help them. And when they're ready, sometimes we have callers that are not quite ready, but they'll call back when they're ready.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
Hi.
oh, Amanda. Oh, we lost Audrey and we got you. Hold on. I'm trying
Oh,
to.
I think I went in through Audrey's link. I don't.
Oh no. Okay, so don't worry. This is so everybody who's listening, Audrey will be back in a minute. I'm sure she'll log back in. But this is Amanda Mollica. She is actually she's gone now
ah,
too.
there I
There we go. Okay.
Yes,
You
I
had
am.
Miss Mollica logged in through your and kicked
Whoopsie.
you out, and now she's back in. So she'll
Thank
try
God I figured it
again.
out.
That's all right. Somebody in the background is going to help her get back in here. I'm sure, into the right link. But Miss Malika is actually our support line coordinator here at Break the Silence. So when she pops back in, we'll hear from her. But Audrey, you were talking about the calls and
Oh, I'm
much.
sorry.
No, but you're fine. But you know what we have in the comment section? Holly is listening in from Texas.
Yay. Hi,
So
Amy.
shout out to her, and she said she knows exactly how you feel when you say you lost your voice because she's lost herself.
Mm. Oh, now I can see the comments. Yay. Okay, great.
So we can
Hi,
interact
from
with them.
Texas.
Yes, we're in Texas too, Holly. Both Audrey and I are. So wonderful. But yeah, so tell us, people like Holly, um, what if she was to call into the support line, what what would she hear and receive? What do we do when people call
We listen. I feel like as survivors, we feel like we're alone. Um, we being with someone that is having a partner that is a narcissist or someone that just kind of feeds off of um, power. We feel like we're alone, and we lose our, like we said, we lose our voice. We lose. kind of ourselves, and it's just someone that's reaching out for support. We really need support. We need to know that we're not alone, that it's not our fault. Nothing that we do, we could be the most perfect person on the planet and it won't be enough. um, I, I feel like the longer we stay in a relationship that is unhealthy, the less of ourselves we become. There's something incredible about a survivor. You know, we carry this light, and I feel like the abusers try and steal that light.
Yeah, they do. Hello, Amanda.
Hi.
So up the so we
Sorry.
have yeah. So we were talking, Amanda, about Audrey was talking about what people um, hear when they call in to the support line. So we'll let you get kind of oriented while um, Audrey keeps talking about that. So I know we're not crisis. You don't call us during the 911, but what kind of resources can we provide?
So we can, if someone is needing to leave a relationship, we find emergency shelter resources. We partner with, or we locate resources that potentially offer the umbrella. You know, if somebody needs legal assistance, you know, that they can help them establish an emergency protective order. Every state is different, and so it's actually finding those resources in the state of the person that's reaching out. Um, Sometimes they're not, the callers are not ready to leave, so we can help them find support services like counseling. I will say that there is nothing more empowering than a woman that is empowered. A good thing to keep in mind is to even join a group. You know, like somebody doesn't necessarily have to leave their relationship if they're not ready, but they can actually surround themselves with other women that have, or that have found help, or that, you know, have found an organization where they offer services, you know, counseling, both individual and group, or family services, educational services, um, and then also a really big percentage of our calls need financial assistance. So it's just finding the resources for the caller that helps them, you know, take a step forward.
Absolutely. And so, Amanda, I know as our support line coordinator, what are the big things that you look for someone to help on the support line? What kind of demeanor and resources would you say that we provide?
Resources in terms to the client.
Yes.
Um, we provide shelter resources. You know, we have people who are. One second. I'm so sorry. There's an alarm going off. My one second.
Well, you can tell we're live.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I
So,
apologize. Um, so resources. So one of the big things is shelter. A lot of people are calling in. They are actually trying to leave their situation in real time. I've had clients calling in that they have their car packed, their animals packed, their kids packed. They just need to know what in the area is a reliable resource and shelter that they can go to get to safety. You know, a lot of times when people are on the run, their emotions are heightened, they're scattered. So we can take that stress off of their plate by taking their location and then pulling up the database we use and providing a local shelter that they can get into. Um, that being said, obviously we don't always have a win. We can only give clients the information that's available in the area. We can't create shelters. We can't create openings. So, that's one thing to always notate when anybody's calling in, that all we can do is provide you what is in your area, what you have access to, and it's up to the shelter, the organization at that point to take it from there and follow through and providing that help. Um, and if there are shelters in the area that seem to be filled a lot of the times, I will talk to the client and see if they have access to money for travel expenses or a car. And then I'll expand the search and start finding shelters that are outside of the local vicinity, even if we have to go into another state, because a lot of times shelters are not exclusive to that area. There are some that are location based, but there are others that will take in um, clients from outside the area, which is something important to notate, because a lot of clients, when they call in, they're feeling disheartened because they've already called all the shelters in their area and they're not even aware of the fact that they can actually call shelters outside of their state and continue that search for help, especially if you have transportation. Don't limit yourself to the just your vicinity. Um, so that's definitely one thing that I think is important. Another resource that we provide is there are a lot of organizations that actually do provide transportation from point A to point B, whether you're getting safety into a shelter or you're moving to another family member's house out of state. Um, so transportation is one thing that is a little bit more difficult to find. Not a lot of organizations are offering that right now, but that help is out there. And we do have a lot of clients calling who do need transportation assistance. They do have somewhere to go. They're just limited. I mean, maybe the abuser has, made sure that their car is not working. They have really tried to keep them stuck. They've taken their money, taken the transportation. So we do have a lot of clients calling in when that is their situation. Um, Other forms of sources would be legal counseling. We have a lot of clients calling in that are definitely suffering, the abuse of power, which you would be surprised. I think a lot of clients are calling me. You would assume certain demographics, people make a lot of assumptions, but there are a lot of clients that call in that are coming from certain situations where their partners are in a position of power, and whether they are lawyers, they're government officials, they're cops. So they need to get legal help that is outside of their local community where their abuser is maintaining that power, their control, and has cut off all their local ability to get help. So giving someone access to a legal or a resource that is independent, not biased, depending on location, is super important. Um, and another resource would be counseling. A lot of people are calling in. Uh, we are apologize. We are
Yeah,
suburban.
you're okay. You're a little staticky too, so you might want to see if you can adjust. I think
I think
you're
because we have a snowstorm here,
yeah.
it's really bad outside.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that might be um, what's going on. So I do apologize if I'm static. Um, let's see. Is that better at all? Or just trying to adjust the. No.
I don't know. You'll have to say a few words so I can.
Oh, I was. Can you hear me?
We
No.
can, but you're still a little staticky. But
I feel like it's gotten a little better.
yeah, it's a little better.
I think it's the snowstorm. I apologize. Um, the last thing I'll say, hopefully you guys can hear me, is like I said, counseling resources. A lot of people are calling in. They've already come out of the situation, and now they're just looking for tools to continue their healing with life after abuse, and figuring out what's next. So, thank you.
I
Oh,
love that you said that there is life after abuse.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
important to know. It's important to share that.
Right. So they've got a few comments in. So looks like Teresa. She said good morning, and that She left 4 hours again, but finally broke all ties about a year ago. It was 17 years with her abuser.
Mm.
As for resources, it was hard to find because shelters were full.
Yep.
We hear that a lot, a lot. But we're glad you're thriving now and building up a business. And yes, all of us definitely believe a relationship with Jesus is very important on this. So,
Mm. Thank you for sharing
absolutely.
that.
Thank you for sharing. And then Lisa put in here she lost a daughter a year and a half ago. Fiance beat her. She never woke up.
Oh,
And they're raising the three boys now. Lisa, my heart is with you. I know what it's like because I lost my daughter 12 years ago to domestic violence as well. And um, yes, we'd definitely be praying for you. It's so hard out there and to find resources. So even for people like Lisa, we can help provide resources if you call into our support line or just have someone to talk to who can care. Um, because our support line is other survivors helping other survivors out there. Um, and oh, Jim, this is a reply that you can help identify abusive behaviors through the support line. Yes, yes, absolutely. You can call into the support line to even identify abusive behaviors. So, what kind of let's touch on that a little bit. What would be red flags to identify as abusive behaviors that we see this all the time. People just don't really realize. I know I had an experience where was speaking out even just to the public, and one woman who was a congressman who woman who attended came up to me and said, you know, I was an abused woman in my previous relationship and I didn't know it until I heard you speak.
Mm.
And so it's powerful sharing our testimonies, even, but let alone what are some of those red flags, Audrey, do you think that are most common?
The hardest thing, like I've done presentations and I've shared my story and taken phone calls, and the hardest thing is hearing someone say, I didn't think I was being abused because there were no, like he wasn't physically hurting me or she wasn't physically hurting me.
Mhm.
you know Abuse is more than broken bones and bruises. It's the emotional, um mind you know mind games and the manipulation. Isolation is a big
Isolation, yeah. Mhm.
Isolation is a big thing, where someone takes starts to take power over how you spend your time and who you spend your time with and where you're going, and controlling, like what you're wearing, just simple little things. But like the really, like the even like little comments where when you're with someone, you share your deepest secrets and your life's passions and all the things, your dreams, all the things that you want to do in the world. And someone that is unhealthy, an abuser, will use those things against you and make you feel like, if you're, a lot of us women are self-conscious about our weight or the way we look, and trying to fit into the world. And if you have someone that's constantly making you feel like you're not the most beautiful person on this planet, like why would somebody want to be with you if you're all of these horrible things? There are so many little things that can go unnoticed because they're just so subtle. But isolation is a big one.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So when you call the support line, you absolutely, even if you're just someone who's unsure and wants to just confirm, is this the kind of behavior that would be abusive, or you're hearing from loved ones that it is, but of course, sometimes we don't trust those around us to give us an honest opinion. You can call the support line and they will give you an honest opinion of what is happening and what you should do. We can provide resources on how to create a safety plan as well, and we keep it all anonymous. Now, if somebody calls in to the support line, how is that treated? Because I know we have certain procedures, Miss Amanda, as far as calling back. We don't call back except under certain circumstances, correct?
No, we don't ever call back unless you give us verbal permission, whether whatever the reason is. If you give us that verbal consent, we will call you back. But we don't do continuous callbacks. We don't engage in anything that becomes a pattern just because that crosses the line of now we're acting, you know, indirectly as a counseling or a therapist. So we will call you back if it's in regards to maybe you want to check if there was something going on in the house, or you want us to call you back, you know, in terms of maybe a resource that we're going to go out of our way to go and find. Sometimes what's readily available in terms of resources just doesn't pan out. So we'll spend a little extra time going back, you know, and doing a little research to see if we can find anything that's not coming off of the mainstream database. But outside of those reasons, we don't do any callbacks just for the safety of we, we don't know what your situation is. We don't know who's home, um, and the level of the threat it is if somebody were to be home when we were to do that callback. So not doing a callback for the most part is a form of protection for the client. Um, but yeah, if you guys give us that consent and there's a reason, isolated reason, we will call back. But like I said, it won't be a redundant situation. And then also protect the client, making sure that it is that one time callback, not we're checking in with you, you know, over the course of a few days, multiple times.
No, absolutely. And if you need our support line or resources, the support line is available 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that number is 1-855 BTS 1777. We also added to the support line the capability of texting. So if you need resources, you can text if that is a better option for you. Definitely, you can text in, and somebody at support line will text you back, um, so that we can be helpful.
I
Absolutely.
love I love that we have that option now because like we were talking about earlier, like a lot of people are afraid to call. It's such a huge step to take. Sorry. It's such a huge step to take to actually pick up the phone and make a call. I feel like it's easy to text because you kind of stay silent, which you know, maybe kind of takes away from how stressful it can be to actually reach out for help. So I love the opportunity, and we've received texts, and our advocates are so amazing.
They are.
I go back and I read the texts and how they interact with the different clients that are reaching out, and they're incredible. And just seeing that there's an actual person interacting with someone. I can imagine how that client must feel when they're reaching out for help, and it's not just like a blanket of, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's actually, you can do this, I'm so glad, I'm proud of you. Like, oh, it just makes my heart so happy, because then they can, if they felt comfortable enough texting, then they'll text back if they need it, or if the resources didn't work, then they'll reach out again. It's so incredible. I'm so glad that we have that capability.
Yes, it was a game changer for us for sure. So if anybody is watching and listening, um, please utilize those sources or pass them on to somebody that may need them. Um, you know, part of what we're doing today is BTS has hit a critical point. In order to help keep these services, we really need donations from people like you, loyal supporters who've been with us all these years. So please, the link across the bottom of the screen, please feel free to go in and donate, um, and help keep critical resources like this going. It's a lifeline to people.
Well, you know,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's Valentine's Day. How many survivors have been in relationships where the holidays are tough, and like there's all this pressure and expectations and all of this stuff. Why not share love and donate and help? You can save a life. $5 can help. $5 is a cup of coffee. Like, can share. You can help save somebody's life. And we always think that, well, it's not enough. $1, like whatever you can help survivors make a difference. It could save a life.
Absolutely. And for us, it's very critical. Like I said, we our resources in this last year. We know this economy has been bad. We not only feel it as a nonprofit, a lot of us are feeling it personally, just like everyone else out there. But our goal is hopefully to raise $10,000 that will help us to keep support line open, keep other critical programs open over the course of at least the next quarter, and
Mhm.
you could be a big help in that. So we just appreciate everything that you can do. So let's see. Do we have any other new comments? We have just people. Morocco? We have someone listening from
Oh
Morocco.
my goodness. Wow.
How
Hello.
about that? Yeah.
Incredible.
Right. Now, Lisa was talking about the controlling and they keep isolating you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So maybe we talk a little bit more about some of the things that some of our callers like, um, not not to, because we're not going to expose anybody or bring them out or tell, but I mean, like, what are some of the best for you, Amanda, the type of calls you get in? What are the best experiences that you've had?
The best experiences are always the ones where we hit the goal. You know, whatever their goal was calling in, and that we can respond and give that success to them. That's always the best because the client and the way they respond is so fulfilling. They're so full of like joy and relief and gratitude, and it's like such a mix of this large amount of emotions that's just coming through the phone because they were in such a place where they were used to hearing the word no or hearing those dead ends or living in that dark place seeing like that little bit of light. So the best is when they get out into the light. And we've done that by giving them a resource that was able to help them. I mean, that's always the best. And outside of that, sometimes people will just call because they are alone, and we just give them that reminder that you're not alone. There are people out there that do care, that do understand what you've been through, and we can be that person to remind you that these people do exist, and hopefully be that inspiration to go out there and pursue a support group or pursue a counselor to further get that reminder that you're not alone and that emotional support uh, does exist. There is a whole life of people outside of your abuser, and people so quickly forget that because the abuser does put you in this mindset: either you're not deserving of support or it's your fault, whatever it is. So whether we're hitting the goal with giving them a resource that helps, or we're just reminding them that there are people out there that will support you during this time and that you care, your feelings are valid, those are always the best calls.
I agree.
Absolutely. Did you, Audrey? Do you have any calls that really stood out to you over the years?
Gosh, I just want to say that domestic violence does not discriminate.
Mhm.
In my 6 years of answering calls on support line, I've talked to I've talked to judges, I've talked to lawyers, I've talked to doctors, I've talked to women in a relationship that they were in the 1%, where 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 they have the where they are in a relationship where they have there's so much money, but there's so much control that they couldn't even get out. But I mean, I have to say that it's clear across the board, every religion, every nationality, all of it, every person experiences it. And with the statistics as high as they are, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will experience domestic violence. Even educating yourself, because if it's not you, it's someone you love, it's a family member, it's a friend, and I do want to say, like survivors, you know we want to we get so focused on getting out, but we forget that, like there are other survivors behind us that we need to turn back and help. And it's just, I'm not saying that everybody has to volunteer, but it's just being willing to have a conversation with someone like in your family, like if you notice something and say, hey, well, so we sharing your story is powerful,
Mhm.
because so many of us suffer in silence. And so it's just a matter of breaking that silence and having those tough conversations and being the support for somebody that um, you might suspect is in a harmful relationship. I will say that the best calls are the ones that are reaching out for help because like the wheels are turning and they're starting to see it and they're ready. Those are the best ones. Those are the ones where I'm like, all right, and you just remind them that, hey, you have to advocate for yourself. I'm going to give you a list of resources. You might get to the bottom of the list and you haven't even taken a step. Call us back. We'll broaden our search. We'll find more resources. It's putting one foot in front of the other, and it's not like one phone call is going to change your life. It's going to take multiple phone calls. It's going to take a lot of work, but you can do it and you deserve it, and when you feel like you're having a bad day and you're like, you know what? I called the resources that you gave me and they didn't work. Okay, well then let's find some more. I'm here with you. We're going to help you. You're going to get through this. But the best calls for me are the ones that are ready to roll. I'm like, let's do this, girl. You do not deserve this. You deserve to be loved and cherished and protected. You deserve to be safe. Your children, the mamas that are breaking their silence, the mamas that are ready to leave with their babies are breaking generational curses.
Yes,
Like sometimes domestic violence is generational, and it's hard to leave. It's hard to, the abuser will say, well, you're breaking up our family. Well, no, you're breaking up our family. Your actions are literally breaking our family. It's hard. The mamas that are just ready to, I'm like, you can do this. And just sharing that, like, it's empowering to say, you deserve, I went through this.
mhm.
I went to an emergency shelter with my children, and we're a survivor story, a survivor success story. And that's what we're doing. We're just sharing that if I could do it, you could do it too, and you deserve it. And just reminding them. But the ones that are ready to leave, those are the best calls. They're the hardest, but they're the best.
Absolutely. Teresa says, "Do abusers ever change?" I don't think so. What's your opinion on that, ladies?
There has to be intervention.
Mhm.
Just like it takes us counseling and time and healing and support, if there is not intervention for an abuser, they will never change.
more than likely they're not going to change with you.
No.
We can't even pray them.
Mhm.
They have to take the step. They need support.
Yeah, that's one of the things that definitely, even my husband has reiterated to me many a time about men just aren't going to change, and it's the same way with women when you get into abusive relationships. That kind of behavior does not change unless the person really wants to change it. Here's the thing: you do not stay just because they say they really want to change it. You have to remove yourself safely from that environment and that place and let them do the work themselves. It's not going to be something you help them through. It's not going to be something you can love them through. It's not even something you're going to be able to support them through, other than if you have to co parent, good job. But it is not going to be something that you can be there for and struggle through the majority of the time. I mean, 99% of the time. Have I seen some abusers change? Yes, we've encountered some men, some great men who have changed their lives, and they will tell you the same thing. I've had one on the podcast, Rodney.
Oh, I love Rodney.
Yes, very sweet man,
Powerful though. His
powerful
testimony is so
testimony.
powerful. But
If
he
you
got
go on
help.
our YouTube and look at our playlist for the podcast, you'll see his testimony.
Oh,
He will tell you even, it, do not stay. That man is
mhm.
not going to change with you there. That is not, your safety is the priority. It's not about them, it's about you.
But his success is because he got help.
Mhm.
If, because of the help and the program that he went through, the work that he did, the time that it took, that he
Mhm.
invested in himself, that is the reason why he is a success story. And his testimony is so powerful.
Mhm.
But they don't change if they don't get help.
Yes, absolutely, Tracy. Just pray for him. I know we have experienced that. Audrey will tell you. I know Audrey prays for her. Excellent.
I will say, when I
So,
was in the relationship, I was at church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. I was like, Lord, please. I would prayed and prayed and prayed. But I was what was in the way. I needed, we can't, we can pray. Absolutely. We always pray. But they have to be willing to receive it. They have to say yes. They have to do the work. We cannot do it for them. I think, and I say it all the time, I loved him more. I supported him more than anyone I think ever would have at that time. I tried praying, but the prayer, yes, but there needs to be intervention. There needs to be, they have to get help.
mhm,
And I absolutely praying for every single person listening right now,
mhm,
for the survivor in the relationship, because that's the focus.
mhm. And there is forgiveness, but forgiveness, we heard this recently from a powerful person. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation.
Forgiveness is mandatory. Reconciliation
Yes,
is optional. I love that.
that's
I
right.
literally have it written down on a sticky note because I need to remind myself of that.
That's right.
It's mandatory. We forgive. That's how we that's how we let go. That's how we move on. That's how we escape the prison that we keep ourselves in.
Mhm.
Forgiveness is mandatory, but that doesn't mean we have to reconcile. That's optional.
Absolutely.
I think it's up to the survivor to decide how much that person deserves. It's hard to co-parent, but that doesn't mean you have to reconcile.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely a difference. Absolutely. So,
Are there more comments? I can't see the comments.
yes, you should be able to see them in the sidebar over there. If you click on
Oh, I see
comments,
Holly's.
if you there should be an arrow at the bottom, so you can scroll down and see. Yes,
I see Holly's.
absolutely. So, Amanda, is there anything else that you want people to know about as far as support line and what we provide?
For anyone listening, I just want everybody to know, kind of what I said earlier is, I think we're a very transparent and honest organization. We call in. We can't guarantee you, like Audrey said on the first call, it's going to be a win. But what we can guarantee you is something that I know all of you would be looking for in the first place is knowing that we care and getting that support and that effort. And we have to run down a list of 20 resources in your area. We'll do that with you.
Mhm.
So as long as you're willing to come in and do work with us, we're going to be right by you and doing our very best to, get you through this tough time and, giving you that confidence that you can get through this. Because I know picking up that first call as a survivor myself is super scary. You don't even know if what you're feeling is validated.
Right.
You're just in a real broken place. So, if anything, let us help you put back together the first few pieces and help you start this journey of, whether you need to get out and get resources or you're already out and you need to now start this new life of, after abuse. Let's just, let's do it together in the beginning. And we every call is important, and I think it's important to all of us on the line because it reminds us too of what we survived for, and it that makes it's really about none of our abuse has gone in vain as long as we're always using it as a tool to help others. So your
Mhm.
calls are just as important to us as you calling in is important to you.
I love that you said that, Amanda. That's so true. I feel like every call I take, there's just like that. It's another layer of healing. It's so incredible. I love it. It
Oh,
does.
absolutely. So, Audrey, what else would you like to say about support line?
Oh, I love support line.
I know she does.
I do. I do. I'm like, I'm never leaving. I'm
It's
always on.
wonderful to have compassionate people who volunteer and work with. Maybe talk about if somebody would like to volunteer on
I
support
love
line.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We were sharing about how, it's important to share our testimony. We find our voice again. Like I said, every call I get, it's just like it just sharpens that tool that, like Amanda was saying, like it sharpens that tool. It validates our journey, and we want to bring others along with us because we deserve to be loved. We deserve to be safe. I love answering phone calls, just reminding someone that they deserve to be loved. They deserve to be safe. Um, I already forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Volunteering.
Oh yes. Okay, so when you're ready, and and I do share this because we are sharing hope, right? We are sharing that they are going to get through this. So if a survivor is ready to help when they are out of their relationship for 1 year or more, and they have gone through the healing process, they're safe, they're established, they're ready, they have found their voice, and they're ready to go back into the fire for someone else, we are we would love to have you. Just reach out. I mean, you can go through our website, you can find us on Facebook. There's so many ways to volunteer. It's not just support line. I love support line, but there are so many. Everybody is gifted differently. Everyone has different gifts. Praise the Lord for the those of you that have gifts with technology, because I got on this platform this morning and I was like, oh, is going on? What is going on? But we have social media engagement. We have blogs. If you are a writer, if you want to share your story, if you want to write, if you want to write and help other people share their story. Um, what else? What else? I mean, we have so many.
Any of you that are engaging here, we have opportunities on all our platforms from
So many
LinkedIn to
opportunities.
Instagram, here on Facebook. The people who engage with you are other survivors who are volunteering. So it is somebody who doesn't understand. That's for sure. It's definitely survivors. Like I said, this organization is
Run.
US's largest nonprofit of survivors helping other survivors. So, welcome, Sarah. Here.
I think
What is the noise?
it's me.
It's you.
For this no, it's getting really staticky. I apologize.
Yes, yes. It's well, we have about 5 more minutes before we wrap up this one, and we'll move on to our next live in a little bit. But
Right. What's the next one?
oh, the next live we are going to be talking about. Let me see. So be sure because there's so many. Oh, we're going to be talking about the Run for Her and
Oh,
our scholarship program and what that means, just so that people can see. We want you guys to be aware of the programs that we do, and like we said, it's a critical time for us. We
yes.
don't want to lose. We don't want to be lost as a resource that people just don't have anymore after 13 years. So, but yeah, we'll be talking over there about the Run for Her and the scholarship program, how we help support survivors there, and um, personally, I'll be sharing some of my story about my daughter and my advocacy work over there as well, because a lot of Run for Her was based off of that.
Yeah.
So absolutely, but
I do want to say something, like it's right now in our marathon of, share the love, our giving marathon. It Not everybody has the resources to donate, but you can share, you can you can follow us, you can talk. There are so many ways to give. You can volunteer with us. I mean, there are so many ways to give to help back, but we really need your help to make this work to keep us going. So if I could call to action, and tug on your heart today, we
yeah,
need your help. We need your help if we're going to continue to do what we're doing to save lives and help survivors.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And one thing I want to say is, like Audrey was saying, maybe not everybody has the money, or you think $5 is nothing or $1 is nothing. But imagine if every one of our followers gave $1.
Oh my
We have,
gosh.
at least on our Facebook alone, over 300,000, if I'm correct on that.
Yes,
So, you know,
Yes.
if everybody thought my dollar counts, which I think most of us, if we have a spare change for the day, can probably give $1, and to remember that dollar would count if everybody thought it counted. When we're donating, we're not one, we're a part of many, and you got to think in terms of that. What is the end goal if we all give $1? If 1,000 people give $1, that's $1,000. So, don't worry about what you can give. Just think that if everybody shows up and gives what they can, then we're gonna hit a number that's
Yeah.
beyond anything we even ever expected to set out and achieve. And Audrey listed a many ways to give back. And maybe if you don't have funds, maybe you have a skill set that you can go out in your community and donate an auction. I know I have been saying to Tara, my boyfriend's a very talented chef, and I would love to donate maybe, a Michelin star dinner or something to somebody, and raise that kind of money. There's other ways to raise money for a good cause. It doesn't have to be directly from your pocket. So maybe you do have a talent or a skill set that you know people would enjoy. Maybe auction that off in your community. Give someone a piece of your skill, and then in return we can use the funds and put it towards further helping other people. It could be a snowball effect. So getting creative right now is so essential so we can keep these programs running and continue helping people, because like Tara said as well, we are survivor based, and it's really unique to have that, because a lot of organizations do exist, but they don't have the foundation of empathy and compassion. So, and that's
Agree
two
with that.
qualities we need in helping others, especially others who are suffering.
No, I agree. I do want to touch on Sarah's question before we go in the comments. She said, "Do y'all have any low cost therapy options near Grand Prairie, Texas, Dallas area?"
Grand Prairie.
Right. So,
We
yeah,
I'll,
hear her how that works. Yeah.
So we don't know on our end what's low cost. We have, Sarah, a database of what is provided in that area for counseling, especially if it's domestic violence, focused. I'm going to assume most of the time it's automatically going to be something that's either provided or low cost, but we don't actually have that information. That is something that you do have to call and find out from there. But I do know, if you are on any type of state insurance, I know there are a lot of good therapies too that are provided by a state insurance. They know a lot of clients call in who have state insurance and they're not even aware that there are therapists and counselors in their area that provide that service, because I know a lot of them don't, but there are some that do exist. So that's also another option for anybody who isn't even aware that counseling does come with state therapy in most areas.
Yeah.
Sarah, if you want to reach to our support line, we can look in Grand Prairie and we can definitely come up with a list of resources for you.
Right. Absolutely. And like Audrey and Amanda both said, if it the first set of the list doesn't work, call back and we'll keep trying. We're very dedicated on trying to help provide those resources to you. And
North Texas has a lot of resources.
yes,
So there's
yes. So again, the support line number is 155 BTS 1777, and support line is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here with me and talking about support line and our impact with support line. So um, in closing right now, there is somebody out there who is desperately searching for a way out. And so your donation can be the reason that they get the help they need. So please, uh, check out the link below or go to btsadv.org/donate and become a reoccurring supporter. And like we said, every dollar can help answer a call that a survivor needs most. And so we thank you. And we're going to take a 15-minute break and be back live and discuss some of our other programs, specifically Run for Her, for any of you who are runners out there who would love to support something. Well, we've got something unique for you. So thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.